Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Checks and Balances TV. Today's program is entitled Michael Jackson versus the IRS. It's bad and you know it. This is another potential financial blunder from the rich and famous. So let's see how today's news may impact your financial future. A bitter court battle between Michael Jackson's estate and the Internal Revenue Service spotlights a major problem for clients who are rich and famous, which is placing a value on intangible assets. Mr. Jackson, who died in 2009, is once again front and center as his estate takes on the IRS in tax court. The chief problem at hand is the valuation of the estate, which Mr. Jackson's executor is valued at just over $7 million. But the IRS contends, no, it's worth about $1.1 billion, according to the Los Angeles Times. As a result, the taxman is now saying that Jackson's estate owes, get ready for this, $702 million in taxes and penalties. That's a lot of money. Key valuations the IRS is fighting include Mr. Jackson's likeness, which the estate placed at just $2,105, which is ridiculous. The IRS claims that number should be more like $434 million. So why the wide range? Well, the real problem here is that the IRS doesn't have a defined method when it comes to determining the commercial value of publicity rights at death. The assets in question are intangible, such as the likeness or image of a rock star, as opposed to the value of his or her music that she released or he released or records sold. The other issue is that in general, a higher valuation on an estate will lead to higher estate taxes. But where do intangibles stand among other assets in an estate? One possible method to put a value on the intangible assets is to project the income the image or likeness could earn over what's called its remaining useful life, the expected period in which the image will remain relevant. Income can include things like royalties the estate receives from licensing the name or image of the decedent, such as a company or that will make t-shirts or posters using that image. But even if the two parties, say an estate and the IRS, come to an agreement on the length of the remaining useful life, there can still be a dispute on what will happen to that projected income over that time. Will it rise or will it fall? There's plenty of estate planning lessons to take away from the tiff between the IRS and Michael Jackson's estate. For one thing, having the IRS assign a huge value to an allegedly undervalued estate could potentially render it insolvent if there aren't enough assets to pay the big tax bill. As a result, there are a couple of planning tactics to consider when the celebrity is still on the right side of the grass, so to speak. For instance, it may be time to think about reassessing things like life insurance arrangements and ensuring they match up with the perceived value of the intangible assets and the income they may produce in the future. Another idea is that the person is at a low point in his or her career, why not place a valuation on the intangible assets then, and then transfer the right to them to a trust to keep the intangible assets out of the estate. There's some great tactics if you know what you're doing. This works even better if the asset eventually goes up in value because all the appreciation will be out of the estate. If Jackson's case becomes a precedent, there will be a new area of planning for celebrities. Nobody is thinking of what to do, and there is the potential to wipe out the estate if the intangible assets end up with a very large valuation. Now, even though you may not be rich or famous, it's still important to work with what I call a TFA, a true financial advisor, who can help you in three areas. Number one, prepare for retirement, which means that eliminate debt, save as much as possible, and have your assets in accounts that can grow and be protected from big downswings of the stock market. Number two is to secure enough income during retirement. You know, the old fear of dying shortly after retirement has been now replaced by the fear of outliving our assets. So we have to make sure our money lasts at least as long as we do. And number three is to reduce or eliminate the tax burden to your family. With proper tax planning and useful things like life insurance or trusts, you can take care of those tax burdens when someone passes away. Very important, those three things. Now I have a free report I want to get into your hands. Here at CBTV, we create a lot of great free reports that are important to you in your future. And this one is about estate planning. Estate planning documents you cannot live without. And we have this special report you can look at on screen or download. Just click that button and get estate planning documents you really cannot live without, you need to have. And also I want to mention my book again, which is All the Rules Have Changed, What You Must Do to Succeed in the New Financial Reality. I want to get this book into your hands. All you have to do is go to my website, alltheruleshavechanged.com. Once again, alltheruleshavechanged.com, and click on it right there. You're going to get a nice discount for the book. Plus, I'm going to include 7 awesome bonuses for you for a short time. You see, I want to help you build a financial fortress around your money, your family, and your future. And last but not least, if you're looking for what I call a TFA, a true financial advisor, someone who's independent, who has a securities license and an insurance license, because you're going to need both securities as well as insurance products. And if you want to work with somebody who's held to a fiduciary standard, which is much more important than a suitability standard, which means they have to give you advice like they'd give their own mother, then you want to work with a true financial advisor. You can call us. We have them all across the country. Toll free 877-575-2288. Again, 877-575-CBTV or 2288. Or you can email us at info@checksandbalancestv. And don't miss next week's show. We're building a mighty great show for next week here at CBTV. We always give you great information that's relevant and important to your financial future. And so finally, remember that only you can control your financial future. You can succeed. You just need confidence and determination. I'm Matt Rettick from Checks and Balances TV. Until next time, dump debt, invest wisely, believe in yourself, and make it happen. This edition of Checks and Balances TV is brought to you by American Equity Investment Life Insurance Company.